welcome to our weekly VODCAST on this long weekend. Sorry for it being a day late, but I figured that this would be a great video to watch on a no school day, and who knows, possibly even tomorrow with the impending forecast of a little bit of snow for tomorrow, so we'll just have to check that out and see. A couple of announcements before I send you off to the strategy session. First of all, Logan Davis was our rock star of the week for this past week. His tracking with greetings has been incredible. He has been intentionally paying attention to that in class as he comes in the morning with other teachers, and his tracking is like a laser. So proud of you, Logan. He is the rock star of the week. A couple of other announcements. Number one would include the fact that our family night is this Thursday, January 23rd, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. If you have not yet sent in that RSVP form, you may do that at any time. You can email me. We just have to know a rough estimate of how many people we'll have. As always, we'll have our potluck to begin with at 6 p.m. And then at about 6:30, we'll move to the activity room where we're actually going to be watching 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades variation of a fashion show depending on what they're learning in class. I believe that 2nd grade is looking at matter and science, and 3rd grade is looking at environments and animal adaptations, and 4th grade is looking at geometry, and as you know, 5th grade, we're working on the 13 colonies and social studies. So that will be the major event of the evening. Once again, that is on this Thursday night from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And as you know, on Friday we actually have an early out day, and then next Monday is a day off as it's a teacher work day so that we can get the report cards ready to be sent home next Friday on January 31st. A couple of other announcements. Last night in the email, and also available on our Class Fusion page as a link, is actually a Barrett Academy survey. It'll take you 3 minutes. It's just a mid-year questionnaire. We're asking a couple of questions so that we can plan for the rest of the year, and it will aid in our planning that has intensively started for next year with Barrett Academy and our expansion of that. Also, we have updated the blog. We have pictures, videos, links, all of those different things, depending on whether you permitted your child's picture to be placed on the blog. You may see a couple of those on there, or they may be popping up over the next couple of months. So be sure to check that out. It's www.barrettacademy.blogspot.com, all lowercase and no spaces, and that link is also available on our Class Fusion page as well if you want to check it out there. And the last thing I just want to tell you is be on the lookout for a lot of announcements with Barrett Academy in the next couple of days. Tomorrow if we're in school, hopefully we will be announcing a very exciting project. Maybe you can call it a project, but it's going to be something very exciting. So stay on the lookout for that. We are so excited about it. That's my hook for today. I don't want to totally give it away, but it'll be announced tomorrow. Now I'm going to actually send you over to the strategy session with a ton of strategies this week, especially in math. We're kind of reviewing all of our computation with decimals and all of our computation with fractions and a little bit of elapsed time. So there will be some house points involved if you stick with it through this. I will see you on the other end. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar family, so one of our major focuses this week will be just basically a massive review of all of the computation with decimals and all of the computation with fractions that we've been working so hard on over the past month or so. So as you can see here, I put a couple problems with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing decimals, and a couple problems down below with adding and subtracting fractions right here. Now, each of these problems will be worth 2 house points if your rockstar completes them at home and brings them in. I will definitely check them and then award them their house points. The major focus of these problems, though, is the vocabulary in them, and they really have to decide what operation do I have to use. So I just want to randomly look at one of the problems to kind of work on that so that you can help your son or daughter at home if they're a little confused on this still. So, if we look at let's go down to number 3 here. It says, over the weekend it snowed 8 3/4 inches on Monday, and 12 thousandths inches on Tuesday, and 9 23 thousandths inches on Wednesday. What is the total snowfall for this 3-day period? So a couple of words that I can see in here that really tell me would include total, and this is something that you can practice at home, 3-day period, so then I can come back here, up here, and say Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So if I see total, that's a major key word that I have to add. So basically what I would have to do is add together those three numbers. Now, the important thing, and I want to see if the rock stars remember this and if they're working on it, because we're definitely going to begin just reviewing it tomorrow. I'm pretty confident that they have it down, is how do you line up each of your problems when adding and subtracting versus multiplying or dividing, okay? And how do you regroup in adding and subtracting fractions? So here's what I'm actually going to do. I am going to complete this entire sheet. I'm going to scan it in and have it available as a link on the Class Fusion page so that you can see my work, compare it to this if you want to help your child at home in this way. Now, another focus of this week, and now I'm going to actually turn us over to the Class Fusion page, would include elapsed time. I know it's one of those things that, you know, kind of gives everyone a little bit of a headache because this year we've really jumped up our work with elapsed time. So I'm going to take you down on our Class Fusion page the whole way down to, and let me actually just update this really quickly. Down to the class news section, it's going to say awesome elapsed time practice. And if you click on this, it takes you to this site that I found that is just really cool because it gives you clocks and it's asking you what time will it be in 2 hours and 45 minutes. So the rock stars see the clock, they have to read the clock, and then they have to determine how long it's going to be. Now, this is a major focus of this week. This is one great practice site, in my opinion, that your rock star can use at home to continue to further their elapsed time practice. Now, turning back over to this sheet one last time, our major focus this week in reading is actually cause and effect, as you can see right here. Now, cause and effect can be a tough reading comprehension strategy to master. But something that I taught my third graders last year and that I'm going to be teaching the rock stars this year is cause effect is the same as saying why did it happen and what happened. Okay, so if it snowed outside, that would be the effect. Okay, so I'm going to write that here. So snow would be the effect. Why would be the cause. Well, that's essentially going to be, well, maybe a front moved in, okay, from Canada or something, and it created a gigantic storm and combined with another one, okay? So why it happened is the cause, and what happened is the effect. So here's what I'm going to do for the rock stars, because I really want them to try to point this out in their own reading every night, their 20 to 30 minutes of reading that I ask them to do. And here is basically the major focus for that. If they can find an example of cause and effect in their reading and write it down on a note card, they can receive 3 house points. Okay, now I'm only going to accept one example for house points, but I would love for multiple examples. Then we can post them in the classroom and really talk about them. But like I said, equate cause with why did it happen and effect with what happened. So why it happened, what happened. Why it happened, what happened. Cause, effect. Okay, that's our major reading comprehension strategy for the week. Now, I'm going to turn us back over. Let me just erase this really quickly one last time to the Class Fusion page. In writing, the Great Writing Challenge is a new prompt for the week. Suppose you had the opportunity to travel anywhere you wanted. Write to explain where you would go and why. A couple things that I changed this week, and if you want to follow the daily tasks, would include on Wednesday adding transitions to make your paper flow. That's one of the major focuses I think we're really going to be working on this week and in the next couple of weeks. Instead of just saying first, next, then last, how can we mix up those transitions to make it kind of flow like a piece of music? Okay, so that's going to be one of our major focuses in writing. As always, if they bring that in, the completed paper, that is 5 house points. So that would be an excellent way to practice writing in the home. This week we're going to be writing off the hook, as always, with our Inside Out piece and writing for our descriptions for the fashion show. So a ton of writing is going to be taking place this week in class. One last thing that I want to take you to would include some review for social studies. As you know, this week, probably the end of the week, depending on how the weather turns out, I'm looking at Friday as the day for our big social studies exam with the 13 colonies. Now, I'm providing ample amounts of study materials for that. Number one, the rock stars should have been studying about 5 to 10 minutes every night in social studies. By the looks of it with the pop quizzes, it looks like they have really been taking that seriously. They've been doing very well on them. So really, this should just be a brief review. A couple of things that I'm posting. Number one, by the end of the day, I will have a social studies review video posted on our Class Fusion page, and I'll email it to you, as always, which will be a great practice. Second thing that I have here would include under the 13 colony study materials. And I think I took you to this a couple weeks ago. If you actually scroll down to where there are two sections that you can look at, actually, early English colonies and the 13 American colonies and colonial people. Now, there are a few links here that do not work, but a lot of them do, and it's just really cool because, I mean, if you wanted to play the Colonies Millionaire Review game, here it is. It's going to, allow you to play that. It'll give you immediate feedback. I just find it amazing, the number of things that the students can play here. They can play Jeopardy, Colonial Times Jeopardy. I mean, you can have teams at home if you want to. You can play against one another. Just a ton of different cool areas to study and review here that I really find amazing. Now, so that's going to be there. And finally, under the Social Studies folder, and I know many of the rock stars probably didn't take home their social studies book over the long weekend, so they're probably going to have to wait with this until Tuesday at least. I will have the Unit 4 answer key to the review section in the back of their social studies book, like I always do each month, which is another great way to study. A couple of other announcements before I turn you away. Number one, here's the link to the survey that we're asking you to complete. As you can see, it's a couple of questions. It's not bad whatsoever. And also the new and updated Barrett Academy We Believe blog, which is right here. And here you will find a ton of different pictures, different things, video that we've engaged in this year so far. We're really excited about the journey so far and everything that we've been able to chronicle on there, and we'll be adding more to that on a daily basis, so keep an eye on that. Okay, now I'm going to turn you back over to Mr. Reichert. I hope that these strategies were helpful to you. Okay, Room 21 Rockstar family, so I hope those strategies were helpful. As always, let me know if it's too much, too little, if it's working at home. Let me know your successes. Let me know things that just aren't turning out so that I can plan ahead and change accordingly to best fit your needs. We have such an exciting week underway. Really, the rest of the month of January is extremely exciting. I can't wait to get to it. You are the best families in Stafford County. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, do not hesitate to contact me. We will see you next week.